Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, everyone. My name is Paul Young. I'm going to walk you through customer loyalty program. Here's my agenda. I'll talk a bit about myself. I'll talk about customer loyalty programs themselves, and then I'll get into an example of Cracker Barrel because it's made the news over the last 45, 60 days. Here's a brief bio about myself. I pulled this down from LinkedIn. This gives you a good example of my experience. It's pretty diversified. I'm into multiple areas. I've held roles from a financial analyst up to a business analyst to a customer success management to financial solutions expert. I've basically covered the whole gamut of the financial reporting cycle as well as done a lot of business process changes. When we talk about customer loyalty programs, really what you're trying to do is manage your product lines. So if you're selling a cloud instance, you want to reduce the churn that they're moving to another application. If you're looking at a restaurant change like a quick service, say like a McDonald's or Burger King, you're looking at the same source sales to maintain that and grow that baseline organic growth. So you're coming up with initiatives to encourage people to return. And the idea with loyalty programs, whether they're point based or some other method in terms of prize generation, they're basically an example. They encourage people for repeat business. And this diagram shows you kind of how they work in terms of tracking. Most cases now with the loyalty programs themselves, they've moved to an application to allow you to track points. You go to your credit card, you can see that with points. You can go that with Inspire app, which is a restaurant chain up in Canada. It'll also give you some points and stuff like that. So their idea is to entice you to earn points. And those points can be exchanged for whether that is for food or whether that is for other options or merchandise or stuff. It depends on the type of program. Now, if we look at the top customer loyalty programs ranking, far left is kind of Canada. So you're seeing Irving, you're seeing Starbucks, Tim Hortons, PC Optimum, uh, Metro. You're seeing specific things for those retailers in Canada. And the far right, you're starting to see a little bit more on the American side where you're seeing Amazon, you're seeing Country Market, you're seeing Casey's. So a lot of retailers are listed, and you're seeing their scorecards as well in terms of their programs. And again, each one of them runs their own point system or rewards, again, through kind of like an application. This tells you the challenges that you're looking at. A lot of people, when you look at, in a nutshell, loyalty programs, the biggest concern they have is the cost that I put into returning or buying from that particular company. Is what is the benefit do I gain? Does it really make sense? And sometimes the programs are not as valuable and or take too long to achieve the end goal. So there's that. Also, too, they're not properly defined in terms of communicating to the customer in terms of how it achieves those goals. So this kind of gives you a little bit of an idea. And these programs are constantly reviewed as part of the overall sales cycle and the marketing department as well as the overall product team to look at how we can best improve our rollout of any program or plan to drive up better business outcomes in terms of reducing sales churns as well as expanding organic business or in some cases adding new locations. NPS score is just a tool used to promote or look at loyalty in terms of thing. It shouldn't be the only metric to do, but it is something that companies implement to kind of get an idea of where they need to head their organization, their level of customer support and service. It's also critical to understand loyalty versus brand loyalty, right? Brand can get into specific products themselves that basically may have higher margins. So, for example, if you're buying from a luxury goods company, they tend to have higher margins versus somebody that's selling something, say in Walmart, that may have lower margins. Customer loyalty is more about how do I keep that customer, and sometimes you have lost leaders going into that, so it tends to have a little bit more profitability issue around that. This kind of gives you an idea on the quick service restaurants where we rank, where Starbucks Domino's and McDonald's kind of in the upper echelon in terms of quick service restaurants. This gives you an example of casual dining. And why I picked at this, if you see the top five, you're seeing Waffle House, you're seeing Buffalo Wild Wings, you're seeing Applebee's, and all the way down to Denny's. And where you're also seeing down here, it shows you where who's improved and who's decreased over the last little bit in terms of their service. Now, I'll spend about a minute or so on this and why I'm not here to judge any company. Companies make decisions based on the plans they present to the board. But Cracker Barrel has struggled for the last several years redefining its image, including its store operations, its menu, but it's had limited success. In some cases, it tried to rebrand it and it made the news with its logo and all that, and that rollout never materialized and caused more tension. So part of what they're doing now is they're reinvesting in their loyalty programs to kind of drive more traffic and also to get back to what it is. Because at the end of the day, to drive your business requires customers. And if those customers are going elsewhere, getting them back in competitive marketplace is extremely difficult. So this is just a good example how that you should never lose sight of your customers, and that includes how best to bring in loyalty programs to drive your customers' success with those clients, to listen to them, to drive the right menu options, to also encourage repeat customers coming back. Thank you.